Hello everybody, Acre of Love Homestead here. Today we are going to make coleslaw, at least my version of coleslaw. So tonight for dinner we're going to have flautas. And in Spanish they're called tapatillos. And the reason why they're called tapatillos is because whenever you make your flautas, you put your coleslaw on top of your flautas and your salsa and your cream and all that good stuff. So right now I need to make my homemade coleslaw to go on our tapatillos. So, I got my head of cabbage, which mine's kind of wilty a little bit, but that's okay. And I got me some carrots. You're going to need mayo, and you're going to need some pickle juice, and a couple of limes. So, I got my limes over here. So that's what you're going to need. And you'll need some salt. Let me get the salt out here. Oh, forgot to get the salt out. Come on, where's my thing of salt? Well, it's around here somewhere. We can just use this. I'll just use whatever's in here. So, let's get to making some coleslaw. I've already washed my hands. Typically, we cut off the end here. And I cut mine in half. And I've already rinsed this underneath the water. So you can rinse it off. And what I do is I just cut very thinly. And this typically does better with a fresh cabbage. And mine's just very simple. I don't add onions or anything like that. Literally just carrots and cabbage. And sometimes I add pickles into it, but I'm not going to this time. I'm just going to use the pickle juice. You know a funny thing, I can't find if they sell just pickle juice. That would be awesome. So you want it kind of thin. You don't want great big chunks in there. Usually I would shred it with a shredder, but I've learned that this way is faster instead of shredding it with a shredder. Especially if I'm only making, now like if I was making a bigger batch, that would be, I would probably use my grater here. I wasn't cutting anything, was I? Now try to use as much of the cabbage as I can. Don't like anything to go to waste, and whatever's left can go to the rabbits. Got my bowl over here, so we'll put this in our bowl. And then we'll do the other half. I'm going to show you all my great big bag of carrots too in a minute, because I'm going to make a canning video about how to can carrots. Albertsons had a good deal on carrots. And we go through quite a bit of carrots around here. All my ones that I grew in the garden are gone. We've already eaten them all. Plus I put them in jalapenos too, that I canned. My jalapenos, I put them in that too. Okay. So that should be enough. Take that out. put this in here. And next, we're going to shred our carrots. Typically, I only do 2 carrots. These are kind of big carrots. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it in half. So you'll shred your carrots down in there. I mean, you can already buy the carrots shredded at the store, but they're a little thicker than what this is. And my family likes whenever they're shredded pretty thin. So, and there's literally no measurements to this. I just measure, I eyeball it. So I'm not really going to be able to give you a recipe of this. This is just me eyeballing it. Of course, my nose would start itching. Come on now. Okay. Gotta scratch my nose. It was itchy. It's funny how whenever you start doing something, your nose will start itching or something. I didn't realize how long it takes to shred carrots. You can also buy your cabbage already pre-shredded if you wanted to. But they add the other kind, like the purple cabbage in there, and my family don't like purple cabbage. So, this is simple for me. Simple recipe, or simple, way to do this. I'm actually going to see if I actually need that other carrot or not. I'm going to mix this. Get all your carrots out. Mix this around, see if I actually need that other carrot, and I don't think I do. So like I say, I just eyeball stuff just to see if I think the ratio is good. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that that ratio is pretty good. Carrot to cabbage ratio right there. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to add our mayo and our pickle juice. Mayo, pickle juice, and then we'll add a lime in there. Okay, so I'm going to add a lime. You could probably add 2 limes if you wanted to. You don't want it too lemony, so I'm only going to do 1. Because the pickle juice is like vinegar, so it's going to bring everything together. Now, let me get a spoon here, and a towel. This is where it starts getting interesting. So I pour my pickle juice in. Just enough to get, your cabbage wet. And then you put your mayo in. Do not use Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is not a real mayonnaise in the first place. And it does not taste good with this. For those of you who like Miracle Whip, I'm sorry. Miracle Whip to me is not real mayo. Get this all good and mixed. And this right here is actually a small batch for this family this time. Okay. Gonna add a little bit more pickle juice. And then we're gonna add our salt. If I can find the salt shaker. Yes, you're gonna think, dang, that's a lot of salt, but it all comes together. I don't like KFC coleslaw. I just don't like it. I don't know whatever reason. There's only certain places I like coleslaw. That's why we don't buy coleslaw out and about. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get a fork and we're gonna taste it. So now it's taste testing time. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And now we're gonna taste it. See if we got enough salt in there and vinegar. Or not vinegar, pickle juice. To me, it needs more salt. Let's take that lid off. And then possibly some more pickle juice. And then you're gonna mix again. I don't know how to tell you at what taste it's supposed to be, because everybody's taste buds is different. If you want a little celery, that's fine. Add more pickle juice, or add your pickles in there too. If you don't, then don't add, a lot of pickle juice, and it won't be celery. We kind of like ours a little tangy, so especially to go with the flautas. Okay, let's taste one more time. Clean off my fork here. All right, ready? Sorry, I have stuff all over me. I'm going to add a little bit of mayonnaise. So after it's all said and done, what you want to do is you want to either put it in a gallon Ziploc bag, or you can just leave this in your refrigerator and cover it, and slowly it's going to ferment into that cabbage, and it's going to give it a better flavor. But that right there is done. I'll cover it, and then I'll put it back into the refrigerator, or put it in the refrigerator in the first place. But that right there is your homemade coleslaw. Hopefully y'all like it. I like it. My kids like it. If I can get my kids to eat it, then, y'all should like it too. We should try it. I will put in a after for on top of our flautas later on. Hey everybody. I know I told y'all that I wanted to show y'all how to make the coleslaw of the flautas, but I think I wanted to bring you along and kind of show you everything. Right here, I've got our roast neck from one of our cows that we butchered. And then I'm making a salsa. And all of these tomatoes, jalapenos, onions, garlic, all of that is from the garden. Also, the lard being used is from our cow that we butchered. Also, that is not an egg. That's actually lard. So I just wanted to bring y'all along maybe and show y'all a little bit of that. How I make my flautas, in case if you were wondering. So right now I'm just kind of shredding. I've already washed my hands. I'm kind of shredding the meat out so they can be in like these longer pieces, because that's the way I like to roll them up for the flautas. And this has already been seasoned. That's hot. It's already been seasoned. It cooked, overnight for hours on end. So this right here is technically ready to go into the tortilla and rolled up as the flauta. And then you just deep fry it. Ooh, that is hot. Hot, hot, hot. I just took it out of the slow cooker over there. I like it whenever it's in longer pieces because it's easier to roll. Like these kind of smaller ones are not, it's not that easy to roll up. The dogs are going to get some of this fat here. And nothing goes to waste around here. All this fat that's on that neck because he was a fatty boy, put it that way, whenever we, had him butchered. So all that fat, I'll cool it off and give it to the dogs. I just kind of wanted to bring y'all along so y'all could see how we, we do eat our own meat around here and our own vegetables and make good meals. Come on. And the reason why the fat is yellow like that, if anybody's wondering, is because he was a very grass-fed animal. Put it that way. Very grass-fed. Now, whenever that oil gets hot enough, I'm going to take my tortilla. I'm going to check it. Not hot enough because it's not sizzling. But what I'm going to do with those tortillas, I'm going to put it in that oil and get them kind of softened, because I don't just roll them up like that. Oh, I need to find my toothpicks too. Now, just excuse my cupboard here. Got to get my toothpicks down. I have a feeling that that salsa is going to be spicy. Actually, I'll turn that up a little bit. Hot, hot, hot. Now the zebu meat, we raise zebus, is actually really good. To be 100% honest with you, I prefer it over Angus or anything else. Does not have a gamey flavor at all. Not like the hamburger meat. You know how a lot of hamburger meats, they let off a lot of grease. The hamburger meat doesn't let off a lot of grease on it, which I like. The steaks come out very tender whenever you cook them. The lard is wonderful to work with. Like to fry stuff in, etc. So, if you're not raising zebus, you might want to think about it. They're cheaper than your normal cows, depending on where you live. I think I seen somebody post a couple of heifers for sale for $7.50 each. I mean, if that was a normal cow, that'd be probably $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 each. If I need to get them bred, which we'll find out in about 21 days, if they're bred or not, and see if they go back into cycle. Hopefully they do not. And hopefully next year we'll have some babies. Now I think if we do have babies, I'm going to pull them and bottle feed them. Because those, I can't really get around them. And I like to be able to, get around my animals here. Okay, I think all that's going to be given to the dogs. Throw all these paper towels in the garbage, y'all. Okay, so let's check over here and see if that oil is ready yet. So it's ready. So this is what it's gonna do. It's gonna sizzle. So what I do is I just on both sides, and this tortilla is ripped. Typically I wouldn't use it. Well, darn it. Of course that would happen. Sometimes things happen. It's okay. Anyways, typically I wouldn't use a ripped one. But what I do is I'll get it out of that oil and put it on my paper plate. I'm gonna do a couple of those. So we're gonna put it in here. Be careful not to burn yourself. Now people, this is how I've always done this. I'm not sure if other people do this or if you just roll it up how it is, the tortilla how it is. I've always done it this way. These tortillas are ripped. I'm going to have to go down in the middle. I don't like that they're ripped. Yeah, for sure I'm going to have to go down in the middle of that bag. Let's see. Wonder why they're ripped like that. It's kind of weird. Typically you want your oil to be a little bit hotter, but as long as you got a little bit of a sizzle, that's fine. And then I can make various meals out of that meat too. So today we'll have, flautas. Tomorrow we can have tostadas. The next day we can have enchiladas. I can make, 3 or 4 days worth of meals from that. I'm not going to do too many right now. It's only me and my son here. So what I'll do is I'll leave that, let it get hot, so you can actually fry up the flautas. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take a napkin and you're going to kind of get off that extra grease on there. That's what I do. So when you go to roll that sucker up, it burns. It burns like your fingers. And then we're going to take this, kind of spread it out on there, get rid of that fat. And I'll turn that side up just a little bit more. And what I do is I roll it up. Roll it up. That's hot. Holy mackerel. Still hot. And you poke your toothpick down in there. Sorry, that was hot. And then what I'll do is I'll stick it in the oil. Stick it in the oil. Let it cook. Just cook it in that oil. I'm trying to get y'all where you can see everything. And then you repeat that process over and over again. So one more time. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'm going to do it again. I've already dabbed it with the napkin here. Get your toothpick ready because that's hot. Just don't forget to take your toothpicks out whenever you're serving your flautas. And then, where'd my napkin go? Dab some more. This is the ripped one, so we're going to have to be careful with this one. Yeah, I don't like whenever it does that. I should have rolled it the other way. Let me roll this one the other way. That way that's at least on the inside. It doesn't flap open. But sometimes these tortillas are not like this. Sometimes the tortillas aren't that great either. So as that is cooking there, in a minute we'll flip them. That's pretty much how you do flautas. That's how I've always known how to do flautas. That salsa smells good. Whoa, that scared me. Popped right in my ear. Get my little tongs here. This side of the stove is usually, you know, going. I feel like it does whatever it wants most of the time. I know, guys, we got visitors. Huh? Y'all ready for your meat? Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a minute. It's gotta cool down. And then, let me get another plate for the flautas, too. And we pull them off, that way the grease can come out of there. Yeah, this thing is usually roaring hot. Whatever reason today, it doesn't want to. You can deep fry these. I do have a deep fryer, y'all. I just don't. It takes too much oil to use that deep fryer just for us. So there's really no point of bringing out the deep fryer for all that nonsense. Now, if I was doing like a real big abundance of them, I would. But I'm not, you know, not doing abundance of it, so. Ah, that popped me. Probably should have covered that with something. Come on, this side of the stove is being weird today. Not heating up like it normally does. And then watch, in a minute it'll be too hot. I'm gonna go ahead and do these two. Pitch them in there. That's that grease that's in there, the fat in there. That's that grease popping. You can do this with chicken too. I've made them with chicken before also. But beef is usually always better. Pull that one out. And I always go ahead and pull out my toothpicks because I reuse them. This sauce is fixing to go in the blender here in a minute. Trying to let them tomatoes get a little softer. Whoa. Okay. I forgot to make the cream. That's another thing we make, is our own homemade cream. But I think we might be the only ones who like that. Cream consists of lime, mayo, and salt. And only 2 of us in the family like that. Go ahead and pull these. I left those a little too long. That's okay. We're actually going to turn that back down. And I'm going to pull this off of the burner here, so we can go ahead and blend up our salsa. I'm going to have to add, that's a little dry, so I'm going to add some water in that. Okay, it's going to get loud here in just a second, guys. I don't want it to be a super thick salsa. I kind of want it to be not a watery and not too thick either, so. Well, come on. Better not stick my face in there. I'm going to add some salt in there. Give it some flavor flav. I think that's just fine. It's a little bit thicker salsa, but it's fine. Absolutely fine. And it sure does smell spicy, I'll tell you that. Put some lime in it in a minute. There we go. Got you some homemade salsa. Need to move this camera back. For some reason it keeps seeing closer and closer. I'm actually going to put a little bit more salt on there. Give her a taste. Got kind of a sweet flavor to it. Needs more salt, I can tell you that. Well, no wonder I ran out of salt. Where is my regular salt at? Apparently, it's not over here. There we go. Okay. Give a piece of lime. We're going to stick some lime in there. That's good. That's good. Okay. Well, we got that. Now we just got to get, I'm going to sneeze because that's spicy. Excuse me. Oh, as y'all can probably tell, I don't do a lot of spicy stuff. I'm a weenie. Get our coleslaw out here. Get him about 4 of these Tapatillos. You're going to put your coleslaw on top. Doesn't have to be a lot. Some people like more than others. And then we're going to get our sauce that I made and put on there. And you can add like a garnish, like a jalapeno garnish on there if you wanted to. This sauce is fixing to go right on top of this. Not too much. And that right there, guys, is your flautas. Or in Spanish, your tapatillos. So, I will put the recipe down in the bottom, but technically if you just watch this video, it tells you how to do, I tell you how to do pretty much everything. But that's what we got. Looks pretty good to me, I think. Can y'all see that? I hope you can see that. Yep, we got good old plate of tapatillos. But like I say, I may or may not put it, you know, down in the bottom. Probably won't. Just watch the video. It'll tell you how to do everything, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and hopefully we can get around to some more food videos. See you later. God bless.